Welcome, everybody, to another session of Influencer Insights, where I have Emma Darling from Preston, England, joining me today. So she's from across the pond. I'm very excited that we had somebody, kind of outside the continent and connect from just a totally different perspective. She told me today that it's very cold there and it's rainy in that part of the world where I have snow and it's cold here. So we're on a kind of a moisture and cold relationship already, so that's pretty cool. But Emma, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Do you mind just introducing yourself a little bit and some of the modeling experience and stuff you've had out in Preston? And
Hiya, I'm Emma Darling. I'm a model and actress from Preston. I've been modelling for 8 years now. I absolutely love it. I do some of the quirky cosplay stuff. That's my favourite stuff to do.
cool.
I also do pin-up and a bit of fashion.
Right on. What got you kind of started into, like, you're kind of into the cosplay and the pinup stuff? Where did that start from? What drew you to that? And
I was acting for quite a while, but it was mainly like amateur stuff and extra work. And then I got a job in a retro studio. I was a makeup artist, and it was members of the general public who paid for the service. So a dollar more, and I'll teach them how to like all the 50s poses. And one day nobody turned up. So the photographer was like, "You do it, Emma." And I was like, "Oh, no, I can't get the camera." I'm like, "No," because I've been a stay-at-home mum like till my early 30s. I was like so camera shy, and I was like, "Oh my God, no." And then I did it, and I really liked it, and I was really shocked at the images too. I was like, "Is that me?" And
wow.
And then he shared these images, and then photographers started saying, "Who's that? I want to shoot her." And before I know it, I'm signed up with an agency and I'm doing it most days. And yeah, it's took me so many places to meet different people and things I wouldn't have dreamt I'd do. It's crazy. I still have a bit of imposter syndrome. I'm still like, why do they want me?
Well, you fit the bill well, I think, and I've seen some of your shots, and you definitely got those, like you say, those 50 poses kind of right down. So that's very, very impressive. And do you travel quite a bit for doing some of these shoots and stuff like that, Emma, or is it all fairly local to where you are?
Pay a lot. I'm in Liverpool and Manchester a lot of the times. They've got loads of creative people there, and
Okay.
something new every day.
When you started acting, like, what kind of acting did you do? Did you do like kind of this cosplay sort of looks and that sort of thing, or was it just general acting? And then this is just totally separate, I think, from that, So
it started out like theatre stuff, a bit of dram and improvisation and stuff like that. We used to perform in the local theatre and
cool.
got extra work. I've been in a few horror movies, and
wow,
that was
cool. So if we start searching up in YouTube, we'll find you someplace there, I'm sure, probably acting at some point as well, right? So
oh yeah,
right on. Very cool. What's your favorite part about getting into the industry and doing the modeling thing and that sort of thing? Like, is it just hanging out with the people? Do you like the shoots? What are some cool things you get to do with that? So
it's like I never had a job. I've been like, I got married really young. I had my children, and I was a stay-at-home mum. And I kind of resigned myself in my early 30s. I thought, oh, I'm too old to do all that now, and my life's over, and I'll just look after my babies. And
right.
It's a completely new world. It's opened the doors to so many things, and like my confidence has gone from like that to that.
Sure. What are some exercises or ways that you kind of built that confidence over time? I know some people get in the industry and it takes them quite a while to build up the energy and the effort and stuff it takes to be confident in front of the camera and stuff. What are some ways that you do that yourself?
I really believe in fake it till you make it.
Is that right? Okay.
Like a few shoots, I'll be quite uncomfortable, and I was like, "Oh, I'm meeting a new photographer, and what they're going to think of me," and just push myself. And then after the first 5-10 minutes, it feels comfortable, it feels natural. So like in my references and stuff, because I've heard some models can be a bit snooty, they always put like, "She's so down to earth, she's so bubbly, we love shooting with her," and stuff. So just being yourself and humble as well, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of that balance of being out there, but also realizing where you come from too, right? So doing this as a mom, has that been any challenges, or are the girls really supportive of the things that you do, or how does that go?
They're secretly proud. They'll walk past me and I'll be Superwoman or something, and they're like, but then I hear him telling the mates and, showing the pictures and like, that's my mum, that's my mum. So they're proud, but they won't admit it.
They're not going to tell you anyway, right? So yeah,
And
well,
like
that's pretty
every
cool.
occasion, I'll drag them, special occasions, I'll drag them into shoots with me. I'm like, come on, we'll get some family shoots. And
Cool.
so they've done a little bit themselves, but
Okay. Okay. Do they have much interest in expanding that, or they kind of got their own careers on the way?
not really, because they've kind of grown up with it. It's not special. Like if it was me, I'd be like wanting to do it all the time. I used to have my dad take me pictures, on those disposable cameras.
Yes.
When I
Yes.
was a teenager, and I was like, but no, they're more like, oh, get the camera away, not the
I
camera
don't want to be there.
again.
Well, that's cool. It's kind of fun that you get to do that together, because I mean, those are memories that are going to last their lifetime for sure as well, right? So that's pretty special. So when you're, I don't know what it's like out in England, but I mean, our part of the world, if you want to get started in the industry, it's a lot of kind of doing a TFP or trade for prints and that sort of thing. When you're getting started yourself, I
Yeah,
know that it kind of snowballed for you fairly quickly, but how did you get started as far as that goes? Where did you do lots of paid shoots or?
Apple Port and Model Folio. I'm not sure if you've got that there. Like networking sites for models and photographers.
Okay, yep,
And I did about a year TF and I built my portfolio huge,
right,
constantly going through magazines thinking, right, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. And I covered every genre I was comfortable with.
wow.
I had built it up, then I started charging.
Okay, so a full year of just pounding out the shoots wherever you could get them, kind of thing. So
Yeah, I don't think you can be asking for money, unless you've got a good portfolio, because
yeah,
nobody's going to book you.
yeah, no, that's well said. How do you, I see there's a lot of creativity in the kind of the outfits and the things that you put together. When you get started, how did you manage to get those things together? Did you have all that stuff, or did you go to trade fairs or used
Every
places or?
charity shop,
Okay,
every charity shop that possibly is, I'm there buying ball gowns,
cool.
borrowing things, just doing what I can. I did train up to be a makeup artist, so I've got the makeup skills. So I've
Okay,
done very creative makeup and stuff,
sure,
and just putting yourself out there. Like I said, I know a lot of models is like studio only, and
right.
I was jumping in waterfalls and going to abandoned spooky houses and all sorts, anything to get the shot.
Yeah, and that goes a long way too. If you're willing to put yourself out there, I think, right, that goes, further than somebody that's, I just want to do runway or whatever, right? So, what are some, I guess, when you're starting out like that, some pros or cons and stuff for anybody that's watching or getting into this themselves? What are some things that you kind of watch out for, or things that you look for when you were starting out looking for shoots and
I've
stuff?
never worked with anybody who didn't have like loads of references
Okay,
or a portfolio, because there's quite a few photographers trying it on, and they just basically want to get you down to your underwear or
right,
more. So
yeah,
always set your levels, be complete upfront. If
yeah,
they haven't got any references, but you still want to do it, bring a chaperone.
right.
You've always got to be safe.
Sure, sure. Who did you use for a chaperone? I know there's always some.
I had a friend, I don't drive, you say, but he's a photographer, so I
Oh,
give him free shoots if he drives me to and back from my other shoots.
oh,
So got a
hey,
little.
that's a pretty good deal.
I usually
Like,
have to do shoot on shoot though to do that though, because I'll be done up going to one and then coming home. He's like,
hey, but whatever works, if you can do that and help them out, and it works for you as well, right? What's wrong with that? So, where is your next, I guess, big plans and stuff? Where you're going to take this modeling thing next? Are you booked up enough that it doesn't matter, or do you have bigger ambitions for doing more and more? Or
Yeah, I haven't advertised for a while. I don't overwork myself because I really believe in enjoying life and I
Sure.
like being with my girls and stuff. But just enough shoots come in one week, say, can be anything from like 2 to 5. Or if I hammer it one week, I'll
Okay.
have a week next week.
Oh yeah.
So I don't advertise for it, just a steady stream of photographers come
Wow.
through. Workshops as well regularly. Do you know, if I amateur photographers, I'll be the model for that. So
Oh,
that's constant work coming through.
yeah,
It's a
that's
bit
probably pretty good.
and sometimes you can have like 30 of them, like paparazzi. But
Well,
no,
just you could probably sit there for a long time too, just posed right, waiting for them to. Yeah.
it is. They get 5 poses each, and they queue up, and they just go round and round and round.
Oh my.
The funniest thing is a lot of them forget to take the lens cap off.
No,
So
really.
like go in your lens cap.
Not getting much of a shot if they got that on, right? So,
No.
well, that's pretty cool. That's a good way for, I guess, anybody thinking about it too, to kind of expand. If you can, those regular work things, whether it's with a certain brand or company, or working with local for people, photographers and stuff like that. That's a great idea.
Well, there's always people learning and wanting to develop it more, and
Sure.
it's easier for them to have somebody who can just keep pausing rather than having to direct them all the time.
For sure.
Constantly move, even if it's tiny movements, I never stop moving. So actually shot.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything gets a little stiff after a while, I'm sure. So, but how do you, curious how the advertising thing, I'm guessing you said you're not advertising now, but how did you advertise and market yourself a little bit before?
On Purple Port, you can put out castings.
Okay.
Purple Port and Model Folio. You just advertise yourself, put your rates, put what you
Okay.
want to do, when photographers apply to your castings.
Sure.
But I'm with an agency as well, so that gets occasional work.
Right. Right. You can book through them as well. So,
I'd actually say more freelancing.
okay. No, that's some good tips. I know that a lot of those sites are out there, and my part of the world, like where I'm from, it's pretty sparse, I guess, as far as the opportunities go and that sort of thing. But we've got people in Calgary and British Columbia and stuff like that that listen to this regularly, and yeah, that's a really good tip for them to start growing their stuff as well. Put yourself out as many places you probably can is a big piece of it, right? So,
Oh, definitely. A lot of my friends are doing remote shoots and they work with people from all over the world. But you've seen how I am with technology, so I don't think it'll be very good for me.
that's all right. You're doing great. So, how do you feel about the totally different off the topic thing, but social media and stuff like that? Do you share all those photos and stuff yourself? Do you have some help in the background doing some of that work, or do you?
I share all photos myself, but if you get paid for certain shoots, some of them you're not entitled to the photographs.
Right.
It's like I have specific favorite photographers who take really good shots, who I tend to use again and again. They know
Sure.
what I like and what I don't like, and
Do you those favorite photographers? Do you kind of working together for a while? Do you guys trade payments still, or do you pay them when they reach out and vice versa and that sort of thing, or is it?
they still pay me, but I usually give them big discounts because they send me like every shot, and
Right.
they're all really professional, and they'll like send them off to magazines and stuff, so they're giving me a bit of extra coverage.
Sure. Well, that's pretty good. How many times have you been published?
Ooh,
More than you
that's
can
a
count.
question. I'd say over 20.
Wow, good for you. That's very awesome. So, no, that's a huge accomplishment to hit those kind of milestones. So very cool. Very cool.
My best one with Delicious Dolls. I was so happy with that. It's like a
Okay.
big pin-up magazine, and I was like, still.
Is that we can maybe share that shoot in the a link to it or something like that under the video feed after. That'd be really cool. So
Oh yeah.
a little bit more, maybe switching gears to the kind of more personal side. And I mean, we see you in front of the camera, but there's always the things that go on in the background and stuff like that. What's something that people maybe wouldn't know about you even if they followed you for a long time on social media, what's something that's kind of unique about your approach to the world and the things that you do?
I have OCD,
Okay.
diagnosed last year.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
How did you find out about that?
My mum passed away last year,
Oh, I'm
and
sorry to hear
then
that.
the day after my mum passed away, my dad got diagnosed with terminal cancer.
Oh my.
And I just started suffering really bad with intrusive thoughts.
Sure. Sure.
Just anybody older who I'd met, I just thought they're dying, they're gonna die, they're gonna die. I got a bit focused around death, really.
Yeah.
And I thought I was going mad, and I went to the doctors. They sent me to a mental health team, and
Okay.
after a lot of appointments and things, they said it's OCD, which I always thought was just cleaning, and I was like, what?
That's right. Yeah.
So,
So there's a lot more to the diagnosis. What have you noticed anything since going through that process of discovery, or is it?
oh, it was a really dark place at the time. I took about 3 months out of modelling, and I didn't really tell anybody.
Sure.
And it was just like, I don't know, it was like walking on broken glass, kind of. I would just kept waiting for something bad to happen, because then I'd never experienced grief, and then I
Right.
got 2 double whammies in a row, and it was in the just after the pandemic, so I was like on edge waiting for something next to happen, kind of thing.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
they put me on medication, which I wasn't happy about at first. I was like, oh, I'm going to be a zombie. It's not going to work. Da, 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 da.
Sure.
And I'm back to my normal self. It really has worked.
Is that right? Well, they obviously caught it in the right terms and caught the right diagnosis and stuff. Because yeah, it can be a challenge to find the right balances and stuff. So that's awesome. But
Oh, they
that
were brilliant. My nurse in particular had a daughter who had gone through near enough the same thing. So she recognised it before the doctor, and she advised the doctor, like, we know what's happening, kind of thing.
right. Wow. Yeah, those kind of hits in life, it might be the how dirty the house is, but realistically, it's things going on underneath the surface that are really bothering you and that sort of thing. So
Oh, definitely. And like, my dad was given like a couple of weeks, and it's over a year later now. He's still going. He's still going strong.
good for
We
him.
play golf once a week. He's fighting it.
Good. The spirits are up and that sort of thing. I know those are.
Oh, definitely. He's still joking away. He's always been a bit cheeky. Yeah, yeah, he's doing brilliant.
Well, that's so good. No, that's so good, and we'll keep sending prayers for continual help for him to improve for sure. So what? I guess now that you've kind of been through diagnosis with OCD and that sort of thing, what are some things that you do besides the medication now going forward? Because I think all of those things kind of change our perspective in life when we go through something like that. What are some things that you look at differently now, or what are some rituals maybe that you have in your life to combat some of the feelings and stuff you have? So
I try and be a lot more positive. I meditate a lot. At night, I used to read psychological thrillers. That was like my whole thing. And then I
really,
realized it wasn't good to be going to bed on so things like that. So I've chilled out my reading list now. I just relax. I have a good bedtime routine, all that sleep hygiene, they call it.
right.
And yeah, I've got a good routine, and that I sleep a lot better. No, it's just focusing on the good instead of the bad, because I've stopped waiting for the next bad thing to happen.
That's a huge point there, right? Because we can, especially when you're kind of more naturally tends just to focus in on one thing. Like, all of us, our minds are they're a powerful tool, and if we don't put them into focus in the right direction, it takes us down some roads that we just don't want to be on. And so, yeah, if you're reading a crazy thriller at the middle of the night and you have a tendency to think negatively, it probably channels that even further, right? So wow, that's huge discovery. So my personal kind of deal is I get up and I meditate a little bit in the morning and do some prayer time and that sort of thing, and it really just sets your day off for a completely different trajectory when you get your mind into, like I say, some of that positive thinking and that sort of thing. So
Oh, definitely.
cool. How was your girls obviously they helped you kind of through the discovery of the OCD and stuff like that. But has your relationship grown stronger or tightened going through some of the stuff you guys have been through in the last year and a half or so? Or
Oh, definitely. My eldest, she's called Angel, and she really is an angel.
well,
She looked like a cherub when she was born, hence the name. And she's just such a kind, nice girl, and she has really supported me. Harmony, she's a bit more opinionated than Angel. But we say she's going to be a lawyer when she's older. She has that kind of drive in her. But no, they've both been brilliant, really, really good. So much stronger than I expected them to be. Like, I had to go home and tell them like the nana had passed away, and it was all sudden, and they couldn't go to the hospital to visit because of COVID. And my dad couldn't even say goodbye, and he'd been married to her for 50 years. It was really heartbreaking.
oh,
But I come home and I'm blubbering, and I tell them, and they just jump up and hug me. They were amazing, actually, and
wow.
telling each other to behave. You behave, Mum's going through a lot.
Keeping everybody else in line. No, that's so good, and that's so amazing. So what about other ambitions and plans in life going forward? I mean, it's tough. I know your dad's still going through his stuff, but I mean, behind the scenes, are you got big goals, places you want to be, things you want to do in the future, or?
I really want to get like better roles in movies.
Okay.
I've been cast as a lead role, but it's an amateur film. But I'm hoping that gives me a bit of a step up, and
Totally.
I do really want to get into acting. I'm hitting the big 4-0 next year, and I'm thinking, how long can I keep modelling?
Sure. Got to diversify a little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I would love to get deeper into acting.
okay, good. Well, down the road, wherever you end up going, I mean, you're part of our group and our community now, and we'd love to support you in whatever way we can, even if that's just watching the show or sharing the information about it. Please just go ahead and feel free to share those things with our group, and we'd love to, support you as you go along there. So,
Oh, thank you.
Any other thoughts that you've been thinking of, things that you wanted to share in this group, or words that you wanted to partake to people that are just starting out or just growing in their careers, or?
Just believe in yourself. Everybody has faults. Everybody has little things that they don't like about themselves. I have about 20, but
Yeah.
the camera and the photographers and just people in general, they don't notice them things.
That's right.
And if you've got confidence, you can literally do anything. It shines out of you. And yeah, even like the Kardashians, these huge celebrities, they're getting photoshopped everywhere. They've got the nice lights, and nobody's perfect. Just believe in yourself, and you can do it.
Wow, absolutely. That's powerful, powerful words. I think, the things that go on inside our head, sometimes we just spin it around and around and around, and we don't really see the true us who we can be, right? When we just exude outward and share whatever it is that we're going to share. So,
Definitely.
wow, no, that's great. Cool. Well, I appreciate you making some time for us today, Emma. And again, we're looking forward to seeing where you go as far as your modeling and your acting and that sort of thing, as well as your family. And we're wishing you the best in all those things that you've got going on there. But we do appreciate you taking your time and giving us this interview today. So,
oh, thank you. It's been a
well, we're gonna pass this one on and say thanks to everybody else for listening, and take care for today. So.
thank you.